Hello again, I'm Bob Weir with another video interview of people in the news in North Texas. My special guest today is former LISD board president Fred Plackey. In addition to his many other community endeavors, Mr. Plackey is a longtime member, actually 37 years, a member of New Horizons, an organization that provides counseling and specialized treatment to special needs children and families throughout Texas. Thank you for being here.
Thank you very much, Bob. I appreciate it.
I'll call you Fred. I've known you for many years.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's the only way.
Okay. Fred, please tell our viewers something about New Horizons and the ranch in Goldthwaite, Texas.
New Horizons is a residential treatment center for kids who have primarily been taken from their homes. They've been either by the county or by the state. Because of the abuse that they had at their current home, they've been taken away and put in this treatment center for the kids. And the kids then are prepared to get into the foster system. That's what New Horizons' principal function is to prepare them to be able to function in the foster care program.
How about what are some of the challenges faced by children with special needs?
Oh, good gosh. Usually when they've been taken from their family, education is probably the last thing that they've ever had to worry about, because they've been either they hadn't been fed, or they hadn't been clothed, or they've been so mistreated in so many different ways that education is the last thing that was of any importance. So in order to get them to a foster home or to get them back into the system, they've got to be caught up in their education. And that's probably the hardest challenge, to get them focused well enough from their abuse to be able to be starting to study again and catching up with their peers in their schoolwork. So that's their biggest problem.
And what forms does the abuse take?
Bob, probably 95% of the kids at New Horizons have been sexually abused, and they've grown. There's about 70 kids there now, but most of it's sexual abuse. And it's sad as can be, but that's the case.
Well, Fred, what made you decide to be part of New Horizons?
Oh, it's a long story. I started when I was 19 years old, a kid, little snotty-nosed kid. In college, I played college ball, and I wound up at Tarleton State. I had a scholarship and played there. And there was a small foster home there in Stephenville that I started working with, and my buddies, we'd raffle off some things, and we'd take them to Six Flags over Texas, and then we started raising money to give them a neat Christmas. And did that for about 10 years until I was told to go, would you please go take a look at this other place? It's way out in the country. Billy Bob Barnett of Fort Worth fame, his dad donated the land that started this home. And so I went out there, and boy, you talk about nothing. New Horizons started out with nothing. The kids lived in tents, and then they moved up to mobile homes, and then through gatherings, some of the big foundations in North Texas, they were able to raise money to build buildings there. But they always constantly had to struggle to find funds for anything. Well, the kids were kind of being left behind, and when I was a young kid, my dad just canceled Christmas. We're not going to do that anymore. And me, I was a Christmas person. Christmas means so much to me, not just the birth of our Savior, but just the importance of the day, the peace and joy and the things that go with it. And these kids were getting none of that. And I decided that for one day, for one lousy day of the year, these kids were going to have a great day. And that's what we do. These kids have one great day, not just themselves, because they get a huge stack of presents, but also the home and all the things that we buy for them as well.
Wow, it would be strange to have a year without Christmas.
Absolutely. It's like the Grinch stole Christmas, and these kids never could get it back in the story.
And how many? I think is it 150 acres, the size of the ranch?
Yes, sir.
I believe it's
Yes,
something
sir.
like
Yes,
that.
sir. It's I haven't been over the whole place, but it's right on a really neat creek. I bought them a navy of canoes, so they have a whole bunch of canoes. They can go down this creek. They got a big fishing pond. They great hunting. They got some great programs there. A huge equestrian program.
And there are children and their families, also families there?
No families.
Oh, it's just the children?
Yeah,
Okay.
these kids have been taken away from their families. Now, there's a home, there's a place where family members, like grandparents or aunts and uncles, can come visit a kid. There's a place where they can come visit them. But as far as living, no, just the kids live there.
And is there some kind of application process for admission to New Horizons?
No, sir. Child Protective Services and the state of Texas are primary placement source for the kids there in there, and the counties of North Texas.
I see.
I mean, there's kids that come from our area there.
Here's a question I was wondering about. Are our schools equipped to deal with children with special needs?
There's all kinds of special needs. That's why we have we have special for hearing, for speech,
Right.
but these kids are emotionally shot. I mean, they're. Man, when you hear of a kid that's being tied up on a tree and beaten by a stepfather, you know, how do you treat a kid like that? So I don't, from the emotional standpoint, I don't think the schools are, and that's why you have a New Horizons. You have to really prepare them to get back into that school setting where they can operate by themselves.
And New Horizons has a staff of psychiatrists, psychologists, and professional people?
Yes, sir.
that work with
They
them
have
all the
professional
time?
people. They have professional teachers that get paid the state minimum salary, and then they have therapists and counselors that work with them all the time on a one-to-one basis to try to get the kids to, you know, look what brought them here to New Horizons. If you're a kid and you wind up at a place like New Horizons, you've had a really rough life. It's just the nature of it.
And I understand, Fred, that you'll be gathering funds to buy presents for the children.
So we're
for
doing right
Christmas.
now, the party is the 17th, and I raise about $100,000 every year. It's all quiet by the word of mouth. My Rotary group has heard about it, and so they buy. I have families that have been doing this for 2 and 3 decades. A whole bunch of families that their whole Christmas is, okay, when they get my kid, I start getting email, when's my kid's ready? And so they're giving away real quick.
And I'll have a story written with this that will have information, including a website.
Yes, sir.
As well. So is there anything else you'd like to add about New Horizons or the ranch?
Very few people know about it, but it's one of those places that you look at your tax dollars and the money that is used by the state to you get your money's worth with it. These kids go to the military. We have a couple of kids that came back and now are buying Christmas presents for another children's home that was started in Abilene. They come back and now they have a good feeling about Christmas, and they pass it on to somebody else.
Well, that's
And
great.
so that's
Great.
a good thing.
And what would have happened if they hadn't the experience?
Absolutely, and so they always have that good feeling around Christmas time. It's not a bad feeling.
Well, Fred, I want to thank you for being here and for all you do to help children to have a better life, and also for all your efforts at providing them with presents during Christmas time.
Absolutely, I have as much fun playing with the presents as they do as I check them out.
I can tell just from talking to you that you do. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you much,
for
Bob.
everything that you do.
Appreciate it. Thanks a lot.
And thank you for watching.